Welcome to Module 1, Orientation to Work Towards Entrepreneurship and Self-Employment. Today it is usual to hear about the entrepreneurial spirit and the entrepreneurial attitudes that the entrepreneurs carry out through their activities, companies and projects. In this section, we will address these two pillars on which the entrepreneurial initiative is based, and which in turn requires the societies to guarantee their progress and development. We will talk first about the entrepreneurial spirit. The importance of entrepreneurship for the development of the economy and society in general is commonly accepted. But what do we mean by entrepreneurial spirit? Do we really know why it is relevant? We will try to answer clarifying the concept. The concept of entrepreneurial spirit, although we can all say that we know what entrepreneurial spirit means, when we try to define it with a certain academic or scientific rigor, the first thing we notice is that it is an elusive and broad concept. Therefore, it is difficult to define and study. There is no doubt that entrepreneurship could be properly defined in different ways, depending on the interested dimension to highlight it, and the accuracy or precision with which we want to endow the definition. In general, entrepreneurship has been defined on numerous occasions as a capacity, quality, or ability to conceive and realize a business opportunity. For example, GEM defines entrepreneurship as any attempt of new businesses or creation of new businesses such as self-employment, a new business organization, or the expansion of an existing business by an individual, a team of people, or an established business. Some definition, moreover, specifically emphasize a specific type of skills: personal quality, social skill, and managerial skills. The doubt begins when we must decide whether to assimilate or not the concept entrepreneurship to the term business. There is a theoretical review differentiating between an employer or businessman from an entrepreneur person, which can help us delimit business spirit and entrepreneurial spirit concept. What really differentiates an entrepreneur person from an employer or a businessman is a development process characterized by constant innovation. In other words, to differentiate the entrepreneurial concept, it is necessary to focus on the development process and not on the result of the action. So, what characterizes the person as an entrepreneur is not the result of his action, created a company or in a great accumulation of capital, but the distinguishing aspect of the entrepreneur is the habitual constant innovation. Of course, the business person could be innovative when his company is starting, but it's not a sine qua non requirement that it remains to ensure its existence. On the other hand, the concept of businessman is defined as a person who makes a living from some form of trade or commerce, not from one of the profession. It is clear that the concept of businessman emphasizes in the outcome of its action. The businessman is only understood in terms of the result of his action, the creation of a company or new jobs. Therefore, if the object that characterizes him, the company, disappears, it will not make sense to call him businessman, wouldn't it? A different case for the concept of entrepreneur, since what gives meaning to its name is not the company, but the continuous process of innovation and development. The importance of innovative development is therefore recognized in the concept of entrepreneur, which also implies a personal development not included in the conception of businessman. The entrepreneur is placed in the center of a relationship between his personal development and the creation of economic value. This proactive conception of the entrepreneur understands the development of the entrepreneur as a dynamic process and, above all, not finished. Now we are talking about the entrepreneurial attitudes. We have to think about how do successful entrepreneurs think? What feeling produces the entrepreneurial activity in entrepreneur people? How are they? How do they act and how do they deal with life? Of course, trying to look for a unique answer to all these questions is an impossible mission, because as we can well intuit, there is not a unique and ideal personality of the entrepreneur, nor is there a single way to carry out an entrepreneurial activity. The most logical thing, therefore, is that we find outstanding entrepreneurs with very varied styles, and that, within the same group, we can identify people who are analytical or intuitive, charismatic or boring, good in details or horrible in details, delegating or controlling. However, we could say that in general, almost all entrepreneurs share certain attitudes and behaviors. They work hard and they are persevering. They are the typical people who see the glass half full instead of half empty. They strive for integrity and fight for the desire of achieve what they propose. They are often dissatisfied with the current state of affairs and look for opportunities to improve any situation they encounter. They use failure as an instrument to learn, and they avoid perfection in the face of efficiency, doing things using the least possible resource, and effectiveness, doing things with the highest quality possible. Well, and finally, it is important to emphasize that successful entrepreneurs not only have a creative and optimistic attitude, but also solid management skill, a know-how, and sufficient contacts. Concerning attitude, we have some data. According to data from the Eurobarometer of 2012, 37% of Europeans show a favorable attitude towards entrepreneurship. This percentage has been reduced when compared to the Eurobarometer of 2007 and 2009, when 45% of Europeans state that they prefer to be entrepreneur compared to working as employee. So, do people perceive self-employment a real job option? We see next some myths and facts of the entrepreneurial activities. Thank you.